Hi friends, very good morning all of you. How are you doing? So a happy Sunday to you all. How you celebrated your Christmas? I hope everything is good. So we are on 26/12/2021 like a true warrior. Yesterday evening festival is over for us. Today morning we are back with studies. Typical CA student. So the whole world is celebrating festival. From 24th December up to Jan first week, no one works in the world, okay, except few countries like Indians. In India also, except few people like chartered accountants and chartered accountancy students. Okay, even for practitioners also there is no gap, because December 31st is last date for filing returns, no? So IT returns, if that is not there, some GST returns, if that is not there, some tax audit. So season is going on. So you are working as a student, I am also working as a teacher, I am working as a practitioner also, so don't worry about it. Duty first. Okay, so in the previous session, if you remember, we have completed which topic? Audit of public sector undertakings, correct? We have completed audit of public sector undertakings. Now in this particular topic, let us see next chapter, that is internal audit, management audit and operational audit. So this is the topic of the day. So open a new page in your notes, put the heading chapter 17, internal audit, management audit and operational audit. Okay, so shall we start? Okay, in these three audits, one audit you have already learned in CA Inter. You tell me which one. Internal audit, management audit, operational audit. In these three already you have studied one. I am asking you which one you covered already in your CA intermediate. I want your response in chat box. Hello. Hello. Internal audit. Very good. Super. So everybody is saying internal audit. So naturally we'll start with internal audit only. Okay, now general knowledge question. In the Companies Act 2013, there is one provision, one section that refers to mandatory internal audit for specific companies, correct? Which section? In the Companies Act 2013, there is a section, company audit. You might have studied company audit in your CA intermediate. In that, internal audit is there. Before 2013 Companies Act, internal audit is purely voluntary. Now also internal audit is voluntary for many companies. But for some specified companies, for some companies where one section is applicable, internal audit is mandatory. You tell me which section that is. Correct, it is section 138 of the Companies Act. It is 138 of the Companies Act. Okay, so first let us read that section 138 of the Companies Act. Then we will come back and we will discuss, other topics of internal audit. Then we will go to management audit and operational audit. Okay, so shall we start with 138? So Sadia, can you turn on mic and say hi in the mic, please? I need one volunteer and help to read. Sadia, hi, hello. Not responding. And who's there in the list? In my list I can see Adarsh, I can see Susan. Susan, can you turn on the mic and say hi, please?
Hi, sir.
Hi, Susan. How are you?
Fine, sir.
How was your Christmas celebration?
Gone good, sir.
It's good? It's good?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Now tell me, what did you eat in your lunch or dinner? What are all the special items you ate? Tell me.
Chicken, meat, fish, sir.
Wait, slowly tell. Chicken? Beef? Fish?
Yeah, then rice, sir.
Rice. Okay, so In specific, what made of chicken you ate?
That was.
There will be so many items, no, in chicken.
Yes, sir. Chicken conda, sir. It was a.
Okay,
We
then.
tried a new dish, sir.
Oh, very good. Then fish.
Fish, it was fish curry and fish fry.
Oh, 2 items.
Yes.
Then. So if I come to your home, so there is nothing for me to eat. I am a vegetarian.
Yeah, if you have informed, I would have prepared something special, sir.
Just I am joking. So how was your festival? Was that good?
Yes, sir. Good.
Superb. Superb. So nowadays we have so many festivals, no? In all the religions we have so many festivals. So nowadays festival means share messages in social media, food. These two only. Share messages in social media, food. Yes. Okay, I'm not saying about you. In general, I'm saying we also on any festival, what we do, eat till the stomach comes out and see who the hell is eating. That is the reason our stomachs are this big. Stomach will pop up out and see. Kitna khata hai be? How much you are eating? And then sleep. Next day morning 5 o'clock. In group, Pavan sir will send a message. Hi, good morning. Are you ready for the class? Then student is like, one side Sunday, another side festival. Yesterday only Christmas is over and I ate 10 items of chicken, 20 items of fish, 30 items of beef, and then this idiot is calling morning class. And then after scolding me for 15 minutes, he will say, sir, good morning sir, ready for class sir. Chalo. Anyway, jokes apart. Madam, shall we start with this new chapter?
Yes, sir.
So tell me, in Companies Act, which section speaks about internal audit?
130.
130?
8.
Wow. How do you know? You remember, huh?
Yes, sir.
And don't do overaction. It is there on the screen.
Hi.
You remember also?
Yes, sir. I replied with that box at 130.
Very good. So we'll start with the definition. Could you please read this definition for me and for all the benefit of other students?
Yes, sir.
Read.
As defined in the scope of standards on internal audit.
Wait.
Means
ICA in the first line, they are telling you one more thing. What you know? Hello. For internal audits, we have separate standards. Standards on internal audit, CIA. Do you know for internal audits there are separate standards? Madam, I have one general knowledge doubt, madam. These standards on audit are there, no? SCA, normal standards on audit. Are they applicable when you are conducting company audit? Bolo. Guys, all of you.
Yes.
My question is, we have standards on audit. So do you need to apply standards on audit when you are conducting company audit? All of you respond yes, correct. What about bank audit? If you are conducting bank audit, do you need to comply with SA? What about audit of proprietor firms or partnership firms?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Susan, are you able to hear my voice properly?
It's breaking, sir. Sometimes it's breaking.
Okay, I'll check it out. So, proprietor firms or partnership firms. So, tell me,
Yes, it's applicable.
is it applicable?
Yes, sir.
What about tax audits? Bolo, tax audits. When you are conducting tax audit, do you need to comply with standards on audit?
Yes, sir.
Guys, I need your response. Hello.
Yes, sir. It's applicable.
Yes. So, standards on audit are to be complied with by the auditors while carrying on dash audits. You fill in the blank. standards on audit are to be complied with by the auditors while carrying on dash audits. Statutory, no. External, no. ICA used super duper sentence here, super duper word here. Independent audits. Whenever you are carrying on, see, if you say statutory audits, proprietor firm, partnership firm audits need not be statutory, no. So external audit also can be a correct term, but technically independent audit is more appropriate term, and ICA used this in introduction to SS. Standards on audit are to be complied with by the auditors while carrying on independent audits. Now question comes, sir, then what about internal audits, sir? That means from this sentence, can I say that standards on audit are not applicable in case of internal audits? Yes. So for internal audits, we have another set of standards. Write down. For internal audits, we have CA. What is CA? Standard on internal audit. So one CA 4 also will be there, where you will discuss the report. Okay, same. The terms of engagement, one standard, scope and objectivity, then giving the audit report. There are few standards. Okay, so now come back. Can you please read this, ma?
Yes, sir. As defined in the scope of the standards on internal audit means an independent management function which involves a continuous and critical appraisal of the functioning of an entity with a view to suggest improvements thereto and add value to and strengthen the overall governance mechanism of the entity, including the entity's strategic risk management and internal control system.
Super. All of you, I'll give you 20 seconds of time. 20 seconds. Read this again. I'll give you 20 seconds. Read this again. So are you done reading this? Okay. Now I'll ask one general knowledge question. The general knowledge question is, internal audits are not independent. That means internal auditor is not or need not be independent of the company. Answer bolo. Yes or no, true or false. Internal audits are not independent audits. That means internal auditor is not or need not be independent of the company. True or false? Aha, na Raja, everybody is saying true and the chat box is flooded with true. False. Internal auditors are also independent and also should be independent. What is the difference, you know? The difference is that, what is the difference? The difference is that the degree of independence enjoyed by the external or statutory auditor is higher than the degree of independence of the internal auditor. That means internal auditor has lesser independence, but having said that, he is and should be independent of company. He is and he should be independent of company. There are so many safeguards taken for that also. You can say, sir, internal auditor can be employee of the company, na sir. Yes, then he will not have independence, na sir. No, even if internal auditor is employee also. For example, I'll tell you safeguards. I'll tell you safeguards. Again, these safeguards are in an excellent manner explained in foreign textbooks. So in Indian textbooks, I have not seen this kind of examples, but for your benefit, I'll give you one example, okay? Internal auditors should not participate in regular operations. Internal auditors should not participate in regular operations. That means, say for example, there is internal audit team in X Limited. There are 20 team members, out of which say 4 chartered accountants, 4 qualified CA CMA CS, this kind of people, 4 CS, and others are support staff. Okay, professionally not qualified, but are able to, trained to conduct internal audit. Now say this is a supermarket. Say this is a X Limited is running supermarkets. This is a chain of supermarkets. X Limited is a chain of supermarkets. One day, 4 cashiers are on leave. New movie released. So all these 4 cashiers got stomach aches. Why they got stomach ache? Because there is a new movie released. But this internal audit, external audit, staff members are more dedicated. No, they cannot say, sir, new movie came, stomach ache, sir. So these people came to duty. Now, manager can't ask some of the internal audit staff to sit in cash counter or accounts department to perform operations, because there is line versus staff. Line versus staff. Line is the employees who do the work. Staff is the employees who supervise the work. So employees should perform the work. Internal audit staff should supervise. That means they verify, they evaluate, they examine, they review, they inspect the work. So you cannot do the work, because if you do the work, there will be self-review threat. There will be no independence. So today, as a cashier, I am recording cash, or as an accountant, I am making cash book. Tomorrow, as an internal auditor, will I verify same cash book? So guys, please tell me, do you understand this example? That means what? Internal audit staff, they are independent of operations, no? That is also one type of independence only. You understand? Normally, in a good company, I am not speaking about all the companies, in a decent company, internal audit staff will be there, no? They will not be taken into accounting roles. For example, I am a person who is employed 4 years in internal audit department, normally. So, one day, there is, one accounting vacancy, one accounts vacancy. So, if I apply, sir, I am your internal employee only, na sir. Salary here is 25,000, sir, but that accounts manager salary 45,000, sir. Please consider me, sir. Give that job to me, sir. Company will not give. Why? Independence threat. All the loopholes there. So if you come and sit in accounts post, you know how the other guy will evaluate. So naturally, it should not be given. Companies might give, there is no legal restriction on this. There are advantages of internal audit team member becoming accountant also. There are advantages. But still, they do not prefer. You understand? So that is the reason some students will break their head. Sir, how come they said it is independent internal audits, sir? How come they used the word independent? Yes, my dear, internal audits are independent appraisals. So write down, internal audits are independent appraisals. So they do appraisal of management, and that is independent. So some guy is asking a doubt, Adarsh is asking, even if employee quits from internal audit and joins accounting, no, not possible. Even if you resign from here also, there will be some cooling period. See, I'll tell you one thing, okay? So there is one A Limited. This is example from company audit and professional ethics. But you know, just to make you understand, I am telling you something here. A Limited is a company. X and company are chartered accountants and statutory auditors. X and company CS are statutory auditor. X and company has 4 partners. X, Y, Z, P. 4 partners. After completion of audit, Mr. Q, finance director of A Limited, resigned from A Limited. After completion of audit, Mr. Q, finance director of A Limited, resigned from A Limited and joined and started practice. Took COP from ICA and joined X and company as a partner. Now you tell me whether X and company can continue to be the auditors or they need to resign. Try to understand the example first. A Limited is a company. X and company, chartered accountants. X and company has 4 partners, X, Y, Z, P. After completion of the audit, 1 year audit is over. Mr. Q, the finance director of A Limited, resigned from A Limited, took COP from ICA, certificate of practice, and joined X and company as a partner. Can the X and company continue to be the auditor of A Limited for the next financial year? Can they continue? Or are they disqualified? So, when you join, when this guy Q joins the audit firm, next 2 years is a cooling period for him. So he should not be allowed to conduct audit of his former employer. You cannot conduct audit of your former employer for 2 years. So same thing here also. See, though there is not there, it is not mentioned that it is 2 years. Here also, Adarsh was asking one doubt, what if this guy resigns from here and applies for accounting post? No, it should not be given as a policy. It should not be given. You understand? Anyway, all these are, it is not law. Second part is law. That internal audit example I have given, no, that is not law. So you can be liberal also. If you are MD of the company, you can say, hey, this guy is a very nice guy. We'll take him as an accountant. Possible. Possible. So this is the definition of internal audit. Okay, now you tell me what is the objective of internal audit? Susan, can you tell me what is the objective of internal audit, ma? What is the objective of internal audit? Simple, in single phrase, if you want to tell, to review, monitor, evaluate internal control system. Internal control system includes risk assessment also. So what is the primary objective of internal auditor? Internal auditor has to review, monitor, evaluate internal control system. Okay, do you know something called COSO? Hello, answer bolo. In the chat box, do you know COSO? Have you heard this? No, everybody is saying no. Do you know 5 elements of internal control? control environment, risk assessment, information and communication, control activities, monitoring activities. Have you heard this? Tell me no, I'll come and kill you. 5 elements of internal control, ma. Control environment, risk assessment, control activities, information and communication, monitoring activities. So have you heard this? This is there in standards on auditing also, 3 series. This is there in internal control chapter also. This is there in CA Inter also. This is there in CA Final also. People believe it to be little dry area and they will not put finger on this, but this is one of the most interesting areas, and I have never found anything more beautiful than this 5 explanation. One of my favorite topics. So this CASO is there, no? CASO stands for Committee of Sponsoring Organizations. What is CASO? CASO stands for Committee of Sponsoring Organizations, CASO. So the whole content what you study in international standards in auditing, ISA 300, 315 and all, whatever the series is, or when you do, Indian standards in auditing, international standards in auditing or Indian standards in auditing, this whole topic, the whole standard copy paste of CASO framework. But Pavan sir, why they did not mention that it is a CASO framework, Pavan sir? Because CASO framework is American. In 1987, 5 organizations like AICPA, American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, IMA, Management Association, this CMA US, then Institute of Internal Auditors, IIA, then American Accountants Association, AAA, then this Financial Executives Association is there. So these 5 organizations, they formed into a committee in 1987. They developed one internal control structure mechanism that is called CASO framework. The whole world, no country is an exception. Take my word, no country is an exception. Every country follows the same CASO framework. Even in India also we follow the same CASO framework, but majority of people do not know that the framework we are following came from CASO. That means you are reading 2 lines, but you do not know that it has come from Bhagavad Gita. That is something like that. You are reading something, you do not know that it came from a holy book. So same thing is happening here also. Now, as per CASO, we are, discussing about this. One second. This standard also, we are discussing about this standard also. Three, 1, 5, where are elements of this one, understanding the entity. So this you might have already studied. What is this? Identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatements through understanding the entity and its environment. Guys, have you studied this? Have you studied this standard? Okay, now look here. Entities internal control. Look here. The auditor shall evaluate the design of controls to determine whether they have been implemented. The auditor shall obtain understanding of 1. What is this? 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 I want someone to read it louder. Sachin, can you read this louder? What is this? I have highlighted one word.
Controlled environment.
Controlled environment. Okay, very good. Then, what is this?
Information system and
What is this?
communication.
What is this? Control activity. Correct? Okay. What is this?
Monitoring activity.
Monitoring activity. Correct? What is this? Wait 1 second.
Risk assessment procedures include the following.
Yes. So basically, do you understand all the 5 elements came? Whatever the 5 elements I told, we have identified here, yes or no? Whatever the 5 elements. Now let us check here. CASA framework. Okay, so can you see this diagram? Guys, can you see this diagram? This is called CASO 3D framework. 3-dimensional framework. Can you see 3 dimensions? This is 5, this is 4, this is 3. So this is dimension 1, this is dimension 2, this is dimension 3. Okay, so write down, which is, very helpful for you to understand this. Okay, write down here. Internal control structures, objectives and mechanism are adapted from CASO framework. CASO has given a 3-dimension framework that explains what, why, where. 3 questions that explains what, why, where. So you prepare a small diagram, put the heading internal control, from that 3 arrow marks down. Okay, I do not have writing board today, that is the reason I am telling you. In the middle of the page, put the heading in the middle of the line, internal control, from that 3 arrow marks down. A, B, C. 3 arrow marks. Left side, what is internal control? Middle one, why internal controls are required? Third one, on the right hand side, where internal controls are to be. Where internal controls are to be implemented. Where internal controls are to be implemented. Okay. What? Left side, arrow mark down. Left side, arrow mark down. It refers to 5 elements or components. It refers to 5 elements or components. So from here, what? It refers to 5 components. And write down these 5 components. What are the 5 components? Arrow mark down. 1. Control environment. 2. Risk assessment. 3. Control activities. 4. Information and communication activities. 5. Monitoring activities. Okay, this is left hand side. Then come to the middle part. Okay, there write down why arrow mark down to achieve the objectives. There are 3 objectives. 1. Operating goals. 2. Reporting goals. 3. Compliance goals. Okay, operating goals hyphen efficiency of business. This improves the efficiency of business, minimizing the losses, all these things, safeguarding the assets, preventing errors, frauds, increasing the efficiency, productivity. These are operating goals. Reporting goals. Various types of internal and external reporting. Like it could be, submitting your financial statements to the shareholder, or submitting some statements to Securities Exchange Board of India, or submitting some reports to your bankers, submitting some reports to investors. Whatever the report you are giving, the reporting, external reporting or internal reporting, financial reporting or other than financial reporting, you are just submitting consumption statement, raw material consumption statement. Okay, that is not financial data. That can be, operating data. But even then, various financial and operating reports prepared, various types of internal and external reporting, accurate, timely, transparent. It should be accurate, timely, transparent and reliable. So if one printout comes from your computer, that data should be accurate, that should be given timely, that should be transparently presented, and the information should be reliable. That is the reporting goal. Compliance goal. Laws, regulations, internal rules, policies, procedures, SOPs are to be complied with at all levels of management and employees. This is compliance goal. You should comply with law. You can't even imagine in banks and NBFCs how big this compliance goal. Chief Compliance Officer, one officer will be there, who is at board level, board of directors level. At information, CIO, Chief Information Officer. For technology, CTO, Chief Technology Officer. COO, Chief Operations Officer. CFO, Chief Financial Officer. Why all these people are there at the top level? To fulfill these 3 goals. Compliance Officer, Chief Compliance Officer, 3. CFO, Chief Finance Officer, 2. COO, Chief Operating Officer. So how beautifully this theory is connected to the industry. See, in the industry, if you see any industry, any type of organization you see, these 3 roles will be there. So these are the objectives of internal control system. So what is that? These are the objectives of internal control system. Achieving these objectives is the responsibility of management. So who develops internal controls, there is something called internal control charter. Internal control charter. In India, we can call it internal control manual. Globally, they call it internal control charter. In India, we call internal control manual. So that will be developed at the board of directors level. Then that will be given to management to comply with. Management is responsible to achieve these objectives and comply with internal control system. Internal auditor reviews, evaluates the policies and evaluates the existence of policy, strength and adequacy of policy, and the effectiveness of policy along with its implementation. This is what you read. Tests of controls in SCA 200 you have read, SCA 500 you have read. If you know the background, it is very simple. You close your eyes and remember what is test of controls. Audit procedures, risk assessment procedures, further audit procedures. Further audit procedures are again of two types. Compliance procedures, substantive procedures. Compliance procedures are also known as tests of controls. Tests of controls are evaluation of internal control system as to their existence, adequacy, whether the controls are commensurate with the size of the business and the nature of the business, and its effectiveness and continuity. Khatam, everything in one para you understood. So you need to connect this to SCA 200 and SCA 500. So we are speaking about SCA 300315 and we are connecting it. Now, internal auditor helps the management. That is the reason we call it an appraisal activity. Internal auditor appraises the management, helps the management to achieve what they are supposed to achieve. So, internal auditor, what he does, appraises the management, identifies the weak areas, helps the management to develop. So, he is a friend, guide, and philosopher. Internal auditor is a friend, guide, philosopher to management. True or false? True. Guys, do you understand this? Can we move further? Hello? Then the third part, the right hand side, where controls are to be placed. Where controls are to be placed. Controls are to be placed at 4 levels. One is called entity level, organizational controls. One is called entity level. Second one is called divisional level. Divisional level. Third one is called operational level. Fourth one is called function. Operating unit level. It is not operational level. It should be operating unit level, I think. Yes, operating unit level. Correct. Operating unit level. Function level. Fourth one is function level. Entity level, divisional level, operating unit level, function level. So what is this, For example, ITC Limited. paper division of ITC Limited. Chennai factory of paper division of ITC Limited. Purchase department of Chennai factory of paper division of ITC Limited. You understand these 4 levels? So at 4 levels you should develop different controls. Even the board of directors of ITC cannot do certain things. For example, take Tata Group. Tata Group as a whole group, they are doing businesses left and right. So it is obviously a conglomerate. They have, put their finger in everything. But they do not sell alcohol. They do not manufacture and sell cigarettes. They are not into gambling and entertainment industry, because these are the points written at the top level. So this is what we call the promoter's ethics. The promoters, the founder said, Mr. J.R.D. Tata said, we'll not do these businesses. That's all. That is, like Shivagami Mata, she said no. Na mate sasanam. So whatever I say is law. So whatever J.R.D. Tata said is constitution for Tata people now. So they will not do. So it is entity level control. Next board of directors cannot come and tell Ratan Tata, sir, if we manufacture beverages, beer, alcoholic liquor for human consumption, return on investment will be 100%, sir. No way, don't do that. Sir, in Tata Motors we are booking losses, sir. Still it is fine. Still it is fine. We'll operate this only, we'll not operate that. Entity level also there will be some controls. So now guys, do you understand this 3-dimension diagram? Control environment, risk assessment, control activities, information communication, monitoring activities. These 5 we have studied in CA intermediate also. So this is what is internal control, what comprises internal control. Why internal? Now our main objective of this whole discussion is, now you tell me what is more important for us. I have spoken 3 dimensions. What, why, where. Which one is important? You tell me. For our today's discussion, which one is important? What, why, where. Which one is more important? Hello. I am waiting for your response in the chat box. Excellent. How come everybody is so smart here? Everybody is giving answer this. Sir, we are smart people, sir. Hello, Susan ma'am. Say hi in chat box. No, not chat box. I'm sorry. In mic.
Hi, sir.
So you understand whatever we have discussed. Now we'll connect this with our study material now. Shall we?
Yes.
Okay. Now you tell me what is the difference between internal audit and external audit. This you might have studied, no?
Sir, I didn't get it. Yes, sir.
The difference between internal audit and external audit. First we will write external audit or internal. Bolo. Differences. Guys, you can help her. Yeah, degree of independence. Okay, so less independent, more independent. Correct. Sri Lakshmi said degree of independence. Appointment. Very good. So tell me, who appoints internal auditor? Appointed by management. Here appointed by
Members.
owners. Normally members of company. Okay, next. Reporting to so obviously point of view of audit also here management. That is what we call compliance. Here point of view of audit also members, that is what we called legality. So this is legality audit, this is compliance audit. Internal audit is compliance audit, external audit is legality audit. Okay, any other difference? Hello? Why no one is saying? You might have studied a lot, no? Standards, okay. Here it is external standards, okay. SCA, there you need to comply with SIA, that is fine. Okay, next. Needs to be a chartered accountant, need not be a chartered accountant, that is also there, you remember?
Objective.
Qualification, you remember? External auditor, statutory auditor must be a CA in practice. Internal auditor need not be a CA in practice. He can be a CA, he need not be a CA, he can be CMA CS also. Or board of directors can appoint any person.
Objective.
Tell, what is the objective here? To appraise the management. To express an opinion. So, internal audit report, is it a public document? External audit report is a public document. Internal audit report is highly confidential, private document. Correct? External audit report is public document. Anybody can access. Internal audit report, everybody cannot access. There are restrictions. It is given only to company, management. Shareholder cannot see that. So this is actually basic discussion and it is waste of time to discuss this question, I am telling you. But I will tell you one very important thing why I have started this. I have come across a beautiful sentence. Again, at the risk of your repetition, you might think why this guy is saying all this thing all the time. But it is to enhance our understanding. It is also taken from some global textbook. External auditor is a judge, whereas internal auditor is a, tell me. Hello madam, fill in the blanks madam. Sir, there is some problem in a network connection. Your voice is breaking. Sorry, I cannot hear you.
I can hear you, sir.
Very good. Internal auditor is a, other she is saying friend. No, you cannot be that close friend also. Now listen, here I have given you two hints. One is there are 6 letters. Our friend is also 6 letters only, na sir. No, there are 6 letters and it should have a connection with the judge, okay? Judge and friend are not connected, no. No, it is not lawyer, it is not reviewer, it is police. Our South Indian movie like Surya or Mahesh Babu in that Singham series, or in Mahesh Babu movies, they say police. So that the internal auditor is. Now try to understand what is the difference between a judge and a police. If you understand this now, I don't need to explain anything about internal audit and the topic is over. I am not saying that, but still, listen. External auditor is a judge. So, external auditor expresses opinion which is his judgment as to whether financial statements are showing true and fairly or no. He comes once in a year. So it is something like an accident happened, 2 cars banged, and then both of them went to a court. They have submitted their version, their argument and their evidences, and then finally judge said, yes, mistake is more, B is an innocent guy. Dear A, pay 10,000 rupees penalty to B, 1,000 rupees penalty to court. This is what happens in court. But if you are in the court, you will ask one question. Dear shameless all idiots sitting in this hall, why can't you make it difficult or rather impossible for an accident? An accident should not happen. So fraud error should not happen. After fraud error happened, what to do is secondary story. First take measurements that accidents will not happen. Who will do that? Police will do that. So external auditor says whether material frauds or errors have happened and whether they are reported or not. Okay, that means you are putting ointment after your hand is burnt. Internal audit is prevention, not cure. Internal auditor as a policeman, what a policeman does? He monitors, reviews traffic. He monitors, reviews traffic. So if police officer is there, so many people will, try to abide to the law. He will not jump the traffic signal because he knows that police is there. You will put seat belt, you will put helmet, you will not speak over phone, you will not text while driving, you will not jump red line, you will respect zebra crossing, you respect that pedestrians, those who are walking and crossing. You respect the others, you behave to be a civilian, and you reduce, illegal things, you reduce non-compliance with law, you reduce accidents. Why? Because policeman is there. So he monitors and reviews that frauds and errors will not happen. How? By implementing controls. So honestly speaking, brutally honestly speaking, internal audit is more value adding to company than external audit. External audit is actually interference and unnecessary disturbance for the company. For shareholder, external audit is more important. Try to understand. Now don't go today evening and say, Pavan sir said internal audit is more valuable than external audit. No, don't change the sentence. Internal audit is more valuable, value adding to the company, not to the shareholder. To the shareholder, external audit. Hello, are you understanding my point? I have seen the internal audits of enough companies, okay. I have participated in internal audit of ITC Limited. I have participated in internal audit of Bata very recently in Kerala. Okay, I have participated in many big internal audits, and also I was fortunate enough to work for the compliance of one NBFC, which is Malaysia based, having 3 rounds of venture capital finance. That means it's a big NBFC. So for them developing this internal control manual and all, I worked as a consultant at the top level, reporting to Chief Compliance Officer. So I was reporting means I'm not employed, I'm a consultant. So I will be discussing with them. That means you can understand the level of work. So we were drafting the policies. Even yesterday you have seen, day before yesterday, 24th of December, we are doing this class on 26th December 2021. 2 days back, RBI has, hey, someone's mic is on. Please put your mic in mute. All of you, please put your mic in mute. So, RBI imposed a penalty on this payment banks, this 1 crore rupees, 2 crore rupees. So RBI levies a penalty on SBI, RBI levies a penalty on private sector banks. Why? Because non-compliances, even a small non-compliance, small deviation, they will not accept. So in some industries like banking sector, in some industries, compliance is of paramount importance. If you do not comply, there can be a risk of cancellation of your banking license also. It is very dangerous. So you should understand all these things. What is the difference between external audit and internal? Unfortunately, one student, articled assistant, he goes to X Limited. He is verifying cash book. He is verifying cash vouchers. Whether you are doing internal audit or whether you are doing statutory company audit or whether you are doing tax audit, you will do same. 625, 344, 229, 1222, 1222. Idiot. These vouchers were recorded in the book. That book is only taken the printout. So when you are looking at this number, these two will tally only. There will never be a difference. So he will verify 200 vouchers, comes back to the principal auditor and says, sir, there are no mistakes, sir. 200 vouchers are there, 200 vouchers are properly recorded, sir. That means you are epitome of, idiots. But unfortunately, many students who are doing articles, you ask them, will they follow any different approach in conducting vouching of regular audit, statutory audit, or if they are doing internal audit, or if they are doing tax audit, or if they are doing any concurrent audit? No, same. For them, everything is same. Unfortunate. That is the reason they say in SCA 220, they say direction, supervision, review, DSR extensively should be given to articled assistants, because tomorrow they only will become auditors. No, if today as an articled assistant he is dumb or idiot, tomorrow as a chartered accountant also he will continue the same, because now he is learning. At the time when he is learning itself, if he is not learning, tomorrow when he becomes chartered accountant, his earnings will start, learning will stop. That day he will become bigger idiot. So please be careful. You should learn. Sir, my auditor is not teaching me, sir. Beta, you should learn. Whether your auditor teaches you or no, you should learn. That's all. You should learn. Chalo, anyway, shall we go back to our beautiful ICA study material? Now tell me, do you understand difference between internal audit, external audit? Guys, do you understand difference between internal audit and external audit? Very good. So now we'll do section 138. I will not explain. Swati Krishna, can you read this, ma?
Yes, sir.
1 second, ma. One second. Can you please read this section 138?
Applicability of provisions of internal auditor in internal audit.
Read.
As per section 138 of Companies Act 2013, following classes of companies
Read.
prescribed in Rule 13 of Companies Accounts Rules 2014 shall be required to appoint an internal auditor, either an individual or a partnership firm or a body corporate, namely every listed company, every unlisted public company having paid up share capital of 50 crore rupees or more during the preceding financial year, or turnover of 200 crore rupees or more during the preceding financial year, or outstanding loans or borrowings from banks or public financial institutions exceeding 100 crore rupees or more at any point of time during the preceding financial year, or outstanding deposit of 25 crore rupees or more at any point of time during the preceding financial year, and every private company having turnover of 200 crore rupees or more during the preceding financial year, or outstanding loans or borrowings from banks or public financial institutions exceeding 100 crore rupees or more at any point of time during the preceding financial year.
Continue.
Who can be appointed as internal auditor?
So tell me, can a chartered accountant be appointed as internal auditor?
Yes, sir.
Yes. CA in practice? Yes. CA not in practice? Yes. CMA? Yes. CMA in practice? Yes. CMA not in practice? Yes. So he can be a cost accountant, he can be a chartered accountant, or the board of directors can choose a person. Say for example, Pavan is not a CA, Pavan is not a CA. Hello, Pavan is a CA, Pavan is also a CMA. But I am just giving an example. There is one guy who is not CA, who is not CMA, who has done, say for example, some other course. Board of directors felt this guy has enough ability to perform internal audit. They will appoint. I have seen in NTPC, we were conducting statutory audit of NTPC, National Thermal Power Corporation, very big company, Maharatna company. In that, in internal audit department, one guy is there, his name is Mr. Ravi, I remember. His name is Mr. Ravi, I remember, far elder than me, very knowledgeable guy, very smart guy, very good looking. So, one of, the inspiring personalities in that particular audit. I worked closely with him for 1.5 months. After that, I realized that guy is an IITian. He did not do BCom, he did not do MCom, he did not do MBA. He's an IITian, IIT, can you believe? IITian he is. I'm like, what? Then I realized NTPC has thousands of crores in investment in plants, no? He's a mechanical engineer. So one of the responsibilities of internal audit is to see the efficiency of the production. So probably he is a better guy than any other guy to be the internal auditor. He is not the chief internal auditor. He is in internal audit department. Chief internal auditor was a chartered accountant. So board of directors can appoint anyone, and he can be an individual, he can be partner, it can be partnership firm, or it can be body corporate also. Consultancy. There are consultancy companies. So this is what we call outsourcing internal audit to a firm or consulting company. Possible. Internal audits can be done by body corporates. That is what clearly they said. And the internal auditor may or may not be employee of the company. Now I'll ask you one question. So remember, in case of this second category, share capital 50 crores, turnover 200 crores, loans and borrowings 100 crores, outstanding deposits 25 crores. For private limited company, 200 crores here, 100 crore here. You need to remember all these things. Why? In many areas, this kind of applicability will come. For example, Caro 2020 is applicable to your exams. Previously it was Caro 2016. Now in the examination hall, when you are writing answer for a question, then you think, is it 200 here in case of loans and advances, or in case of turnover is it 200? Is it for section 138 or is it for section 177 applicability of audit committee, or is it for Caro? Similar applicability criteria will be there. You should prepare a chart. You should prepare a chart. Applicability of section 138, 3 arrow marks down. Category A, listed companies. Category B, unlisted public companies. Category C, private companies. Criteria. Left side, what is the criteria? Middle, 4 criteria. Right hand side, 2 criteria. What is the criteria? Paid up share capital, this amount. Turnover, this amount. Loans and borrowings, this amount. public deposits this amount. Also, you need to write whether that is at the end of the financial year or during the financial year. You should be very careful. Final level. Now you tell me, I will ask you one question. Now you tell me, X Limited, we are speaking about section 138. Are you ready for a practical case study which can be given in ICA exam? Section 138, one case study. Are you ready? Hello? X Limited is a listed public limited company engaged in manufacturing and trading of ready-made garments. During the financial year 2021-22 and in the last 3 years, the share capital of the company is 8 crores. Turnover of the company is average, you call it 97 crores or 197 crores. 200 is the limit, no? So I'll put 197. Borrowings from banks and public financial institutions is 50 crores and no public deposits. The company has not accepted. Public deposits so far. The finance head of the company, Mr. A, is contending that the company need not comply with section 138 to appoint internal auditor since the entity has not been attracted by any of the given criteria. What is your valuable opinion?
Limited company.
One idiot is saying agree in the chat box. Ray, this is a listed company, dude. Listed company. Bold. Should be very careful. ICA. So for listed company there is no criteria. So you should write answer like this. So your answer should comprise, first point, write section 138 as it is. As it is, write section 138. Then paraphrasing. Do you know paraphrasing? Susan madam, do you know paraphrasing?
No, sir.
You do not know? Like changing the active voice into passive voice. Changing the sentence little. So for example, Mr. A contended that. So you'll write in the opinion of Mr. A. That is called paraphrasing. So same story in your own words. Okay, so in the second point, discuss the case study in your own words. Discuss the case study in your own words. So this is nothing but copy paste of question. Facts remain same, but you will not write the exact construction, you will paraphrase it. So you will not write, since the entity has not been attracted by any of the given criteria. This is the construction of sentence in the question. You will not copy the same. Since the actual numbers are below the specified limits. This is paraphrasing. Hello, are you understanding? Say yes. This is very useful for your presentation. This is how you should get maximum marks. You want to get 80s, 90s? This is how it is. So first, see, whatever I am telling now, this is applicable for professional ethics. This is applicable for company audit. This is applicable for bank audit. This is applicable for any damn case study in audit. And this is applicable even for the case studies in law. This is applicable for any case study because it is not Pavan style. If it is Pavan style, you apply in, the topic whatever I am teaching. It is ICA style. It is ICA style. So write section 138 as it is, or any provision of law, any accounting standard. This can be written in financial reporting also. In FR also, same pro forma. First you will write the para of, the relevant provision. For example, discontinuing operations or a non-current asset held for sale as per Ind AS 105. A non-current asset held for sale is so and so, so and so, so and so. First you write, and you need to write it as it is. Okay, there you should not do paraphrasing. Here, if you do paraphrasing, beta gone. 0. I'll put 0. If I am evaluating paper, I'll put 0. According to section 138 of the Companies Act 2013, after that don't even dare to paraphrase law. Pavan sir, do I need to buy heart? Boss, I do not know what you will do. When you write the answer, it should be as it is. Pavan sir, it is not possible for me. Khatam. Full stop. No discussion. Don't look results. That is the reason people lose marks. You should know where to paraphrase. You should know where you should not paraphrase. So, section 138, write as it is. Then discuss the case study in your own words. Then link point 1 and 2. That means, in the light of above provision, what happened in the company in given situation. So this is the basis for conclusion. For example, what you need to write, as per section 138, you have written the original provision, then you have discussed the case study, the situation, the facts of the case, then third point. In the light of section 138, it is to be observed that for a listed company, there is no criteria specified. That means all the listed companies must comply with section 138 and appoint internal auditor. This is 3. What is 3? 3 is basis for 4. What is 4? 4 is conclusion. Therefore, Mr. A's contention is wrong. The company has to appoint internal auditor. This is the conclusion. Follow this pro forma, you will get 5 out of 5. 4 out of 4. This is the secret. So, do you understand this case study and the way how your answer should be? Sometimes what happens, I'll give you one shortcut also. Sometimes what happens, you open ICA, any study material, okay, whether it is for law or whether it is for auditing, whether it is for FR, they will make your life miserable with this. For example, if you have, because you are in final group 1, I am taking the reference of inter group 2. When you open accounting standard 26, the company has capitalized revenue, research expenditure, the company has capitalized development expenditure. That will be the case. Case will be 4 lines, answer will be 4 lines. But the way how ICA writes the answer will run into 2 pages according to paragraph 28 of so and so standard, 3rd line, amendment made in 2004, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, section 46 modified, introduced a new paragraph 46A wide, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, notification dated. Boss, I'll tell you, shit should not be dealt with, it should be fleshed off. Remember, whether it is people, whether it is friends, whether it is relatives, whether it is situations, whether it is answer to a question. You should know what is toxic, what is shit. If you know that it is shit, don't try to deal with it, because dealing with, people who give you negative vibes is unnecessary shit. What you need to do, put them in commode, flush it off. One flush will be there. Sanitize, wash with Lifebuoy soap. So please be careful while reading this part from ICI material. They'll give too much of information here. They'll reprint everything, not required. For example, in the answer, no wonder they'll incorporate all this in their part 1. All this will be written in part 1. So the answer will run into 3 pages. You don't need to write it like that. You need to write as it is. It doesn't mean you need to write full provision. You can cut short it. Trim. That's all. So are we done? Shall we move further? So in the next diagram, they have given main responsibilities of internal auditors that we will deal with after the break. So do you have any doubts? Hello, till now, are we clear?